My name is Camille Vaisseau. I'm the site supervisor for Northwest Cryogenics. We're a fertility storage facility, but internally everyone just calls it the jizz joint. I manage inventory, security logs, staff rotations and scheduling, and specimen integrity. You'd be surprised how clinical it all feels once you're in it. 12 men under me, all technicians. I was the only woman on staff. That never mattered, right up until it did. The weird stuff started in week 3 of my 8th year with the company. I noticed our inventory count was dropping. Slightly at first, maybe only 2 or 3 samples missing. I assumed it was clerical. Mislabeling, perhaps. Maybe someone forgot to mark a transfer. But there were no scheduled pickups, and no patients had visited in over a month. So the missing product really bothered me. It's only a few vials, I thought. Doesn't matter. I moved on. In week 4, I walked in to find the primary freezer door open. Just standing there, wide open. Blasting bold, bitter, biting, Arctic, icy cold into the hallway. The air was humid and thick with condensation. And right when I stepped inside, I swear the air around me inhaled, as if trying to breathe me in. An impossible breeze produced from nowhere enveloped me as I stood there, gently caressing me at first. The phantom wind grew more excited, then exceedingly violent. I felt the wind prickling the undersides of my feet somehow through my shoes and socks. The wind picked up to an impossible speed, whipping and ripping me apart as I lost consciousness. I opened my eyes. I was standing in front of the open freezer door, my right hand on the handle, my left in my pocket, and an overwhelming sense of unearned peace had permeated into my skull. I shook myself and ran to my office. Of course, the security footage showed nothing. The previous feed and all other data had been erased, just footage from today. The video began today at 3:09 a.m. with me walking up to an open freezer door, walking in, standing, breathing. I embraced seemingly empty air. Then is the moment I was grasping to comprehend, the moment of violence. Instead of giving me an explanation, the cameras go to static for exactly 11 seconds. When the feed returned, the door was open and I was standing in front of it, hand on the freezer door. It then showed me shaking myself off and running out of frame. The first real sign that something was wrong with my 12 boys came from Matt. He'd worked there for 5 years. Solid, dependable, never even called in sick. He came in one morning looking like he'd dropped 15 pounds overnight. Pale, sweating through his uniform. When I asked if he was okay, he just mumbled,
"It's easier when you just freely give it to him."
Then he laughed. Only his mouth didn't move. I didn't see him at the facility ever again. After that, things got worse. By week 6, 3 of the other now 11 men had lost a significant amount of weight. One of them, Darren, fainted in the cryo lab while logging vials. He came to within seconds, but something was off in his eyes. Dull, emptied. Like he'd seen something that permanently rewired his spirit, and any fight in him had distinctly disappeared. I scheduled private health checks for all my boys. By week 7, 4 had quit without notice. One left his badge in the sink, along with his clothes. No resignation, no message. His locker was untouched, but his uniform was wet. Viscous, even. It took 2 full days for the smell to clear. The remaining 7 shuffled aimlessly about the week like purposeless zombies. At the end of week 8, I heard it. It was late. I'd stayed after hours to conduct a solo inventory audit, thinking maybe the count was off due to overlapping log sheets. The facility was silent, sterile. I was halfway through freezer unit C when I heard it. Something soft, yet weighted, slippery, wet. A voice. Not from any direction I could place. It was inside my ear, inside the back of my skull. A dark, heavy, foreboding entity whispered,
"You, my dear, scrumptious, sweet girl, are not for harvest, but you will witness."
I dropped my clipboard and ran out of the freezer room. After that, I started having gaps in my memory. Week 9. Only 4 employees remained. They wouldn't speak to me. Not in words, anyway. They stared through me, smiled, an aura of an accepted sad surrender around them. Sometimes they hummed. One of them, I think it was Mark, began bringing in flowers. He would whistle as he walked to the recipient, leaving them on the freezer door handles. For some reason, lilies specifically. They would wilt within hours. I checked the temperature logs. They read fine, but the samples were sweating. Not frost, not humidity. No, the files were weeping. I filed multiple incident reports, but no one ever responded. Week 10. The whispers intensified.
"I've drained them all. You could have saved them, sweet girl."
I started locking myself in the office during breaks. My meals began tasting like freezer burn. My dreams were filled with sounds.
"Your home is with me."
Not visions, just liquid movement, gurgling, wet footsteps.
"Return to the one."
I tried calling corporate. Phone's dead. Emails bounced back. I looked up one of the former employees on Facebook, Eli. His account had been deactivated, but the profile picture remained. His skin was wrinkled, his eyes not human, smooth, seamless. Week 11. It found the backups. We store emergency reserves in deep vaults under the facility. Specimens from high-profile donors or those under legal lock, off limits, untouchable. By Thursday, they were gone too. Empty. Sucked clean. Each vial collapsed inward like it had been vacuumed. That night, I found Kyle in the main hallway, on his knees, facing the freezer wall. He was whispering to it. Naked, drained, eyes rolled back. When I touched his shoulder, he turned his head to me and said blankly,
"He's always so thirsty."
Week 12. Only I remained. The building was dead silent. No buzzing, no humming. Even the lights had dimmed on their own. All 10,000 plus vials were empty. Not shattered, not removed, just sucked dry. Somehow still sealed. In the final freezer on the back wall, I found a handprint. Not a human hand. 11 long webbed fingers extending from one palm. Slick and shimmering. It pulsed when I touched it. Warm. Almost like it was waiting for...
Redacted.
I sat in my office and waited. I wasn't gonna run. This place, for all its sterile detachment, had been mine, my team, my routines, my control, and it was taken from me, one man at a time. Around midnight, the silence broke. Something stepped into the hallway. I didn't hear it. I felt it. Like the air turned to molasses. My chest tightened. My bones creaked like they wanted to cave inward. And then I saw it. He was tall, yes, but longer than he was tall, really. Every part of him seemed wrong, like he was stretched to fit a dimension not meant for him. His translucent white body reflected light with a stomach-wrenching sheen, like stretched sputum under a heat lamp. No eyes, no face, just a gaping cavity where the eyes, nose, and mouth should be, surrounded by a mass of orifices in a variety of shapes and activity, speckled across its entire massive form. The mouth opened quickly and with great intensity, not with a roar, but with a low, wet inhale.
You have kept them fresh for me.
He reached for the sampled roars. The last 1,000 vials the lab had, I moved to my office. Them disappearing like that was driving me crazy. I'd thought, fuck it, I'll keep the rest in my office. I just need to know what the hell is going on. Well, I got my wish, and I wish I hadn't. They say truth is stranger than fiction. I say the truth is abhorrent, against a god I'm not even sure I believe in, and it can go fuck itself. One by one, the sperm god held up the vials to what passed for a mouth and drank them. Not by tilting, by absorbing. Each one turned black, became brittle, and then withered and decayed in his grasp, like dead skin after the vial had emptied. When he finished enjoying the last of what he deemed all men had to offer, he turned to me. For the first time, he spoke succinctly and directly.
They gave freely, my sweet. They always understood their worth. They're with me now. You are the final ember.
I stood my ground. I asked him a question. Why didn't you just take me first? There was no reply, only movement. He approached me, slow, endless, dripping. The lights dimmed behind him. The walls began to melt, and as his shadow fell over me, I realized there were never 12 men, only 12 pieces of bait.